Hi, Rainey. Good to see you. Hi, MB. Hi, Tracy. Yeah, armor up, all right. It's been minus 55, and my broadcasting studio does not have heat. So I have a electric blanket, which I don't usually do electric blankets, but it's freezing. And so my hair today is courtesy of fur because it's nice and warm. And I was out in had to go into town with a blizzard, whiteout conditions, undulating snow drifts. So anyway, yeah, it's so I got this hat in Jackson Hole, and so anyway, I love it too. It's kind of warm and it's not a hairdo. It's just I was out in the freezing weather and it's kind of cold in my broadcasting studio because it's been a couple days. So I just got all bundled up and layered. So does anybody have any questions at this point? Yes, the fur hat is fun. I love fur. So aloha, Cecilia. You do not need a fur hat in Oahu, and just yeah, I wish I was in Oahu right now. Yeah, Patty, it's very cold, very cold. I kept telling people like in 2018, 2019 that this was going to happen. People thought I was a little bit, touched. So anyway, now it's here. And I said, even if you live in Mexico or you live in Florida, it's always good to be but get the basics. Get a hat, a warm hat, preferably ski gloves. You can get the thinner gloves, but I would recommend ski gloves because it's going to get colder. Everyone, there's a lot of particulates in the air. There's the geoengineering, which despite the fact that they say global warming, it's actually global cooling. There's the natural cycle of the Earth that is cooling the planet, kind of going into a mini ice age. And then, it'll be after our lifetime, but like a full blown snowball Earth where the whole Earth is covered by ice. So, okay, so one dog farm, when will they start trying to move us off of our land? I think that right now we're in transition. I mean, we kind of knew where things were going with the last administration, but we really don't know um, what's going to happen. I really am very concerned about the UN pact for the future. Um, President Trump said that he was wanted to get out of WHO, that he wanted to get out of what was the other one, the WHO and something else, but it really didn't address the pact for the future. And he made some very bold statements. So if he stands by those, we're going to have war with the world because he's kind of put the UN has said we're the owners of the planet and you have no right to sovereignty. So it could be a real interesting thing coming up in the days to come. Crafty Nana asked, is there any chance we could have hope of RFK reversing some of this poisoning? I am already trying to work on that. I just tried to get in contact with Sayer G of Green Med Info. If you're not familiar, he has a database that's absolutely awesome for different studies, what different chemicals do to the body, that type of thing. Um, it's too early to say what he'll do, if it's going to be window dressing or if it's going to be a deep cleanse. It's going to be very hard because this planet is a very contaminated at this point, like super contaminated. So there's only so much government can do, especially in 4 years. And realistically, it's in the first 100 days to 2 years. So Carissa, yes, sheepskin rugs. I have some sheepskin rugs. Both my sister and I do, and we use them. I get the extra size, and Miss Zippy loves it. She loves to sprawl on her back and just she loves it. Uh, the sheepskin rugs are so they are very. You can use them as rugs, but they're really nice. But they're very warm for to use as a bedspread, and you can reverse them so it's easier. Like the suede part of it, it's easier cleaning. Otherwise, you do have to brush them, and I do have to ask my sister about what type of brush do you use on these sheepskin because I've never really used mine. This year it was pretty cold, so I made use of it. Yes, Tracy, the snow is full of metals and it's not normal. It's there are polymers. So I did do Tracy, if you missed my thing, fog, ice, snow, and fire that I did last week, you might want to check that out. I talked about some of the things that were in the snow, fog, fire, and I don't know all the ones. There were 4 of them. Patty Knight, doesn't God say he's going to kill the earth with fire this time? Yes. But I don't know that it's yet. But as you know, just like with the book of Revelation and some of the other books, are they chronological or do they overlap and happen at the same time? So it's possible it's like slow burn. It may be a slow burn as man does these things that God just uh, lets loose his fire from heaven. And don't forget, the Antichrist will also call down fire from heaven in miraculous displays. So thank you for all the people commenting on my fur cap. It's to keep me warm in my freezing cold broadcasting room. Usually I freeze in here. You have no idea when I wear these nice dressy clothes and I come in here in this room when it's minus 55 outside and this room has no insulation. So I can get pretty cold in here. Okay, touche. Celeste, what's with the spinning ball globe in the shot? Seriously? I have addressed the whole flat earth and I will be talking about it. I'm writing 3 books. I'm going to be doing some things. I go from the Hebrew and the Aramaic language, and I do not see that the earth is flat. I also believe that in a 2D world, so in a 2D world, let's just take I wish I had, okay, we'll take my cell phone. This is a 2D world. It's flat. So in a 2D world, you can, if you met an obstacle, you could go right, you could go left, but there's no up. So where is God in the heavens if there's no up? Oops, I don't know what I did to my phone. So there's no up. So I'm very concerned about that. I know that people talk about the firmament, but I don't think they go into the original language and what was the understanding and the intent of the biblical authors at the time. So anyway, the Paris Accords, rainy. Oh yes, we're going to get out of the Paris Accords. That's climate change. That is going to be very good for business, but it's not really. And there'll be some other things, but like, what about all the hydrogel in the water? What about aerosolized hydrogel? You know, some of these, like, where is the distinction line? And I haven't been through all of the executive orders as yet. I started with Biden, I think yesterday morning or the day before, his last executive orders, and then of course President Trump went through the day and signed different executive orders. And this morning when I checked before I went to the bank in my blizzard, they had not posted them online. So if you want to see those when they do come online, you would go look under presidential executive orders, and then you would look under President Trump 2025 because you don't want his old executive orders. Now, the problem with executive orders is just like the first one that he signed, I think was when he first was inaugurated, is that these are executive orders. They look how quick he overturned 78 of Biden's executive orders with just one signature. So, unless these executive orders get put into regulation or law, and I prefer law because I'm not a big advocate of the agencies, I believe it's outside of our Constitution. They operate outside the Constitution. So I'm really concerned that unless these get translated into law, that the next president that comes along can have the power to just overturn or undo everything that is being done now. Let's see. Spinning. Patty Knight, I don't know what you mean by spinning. So I'll get down there if you write another one and clarify that. I'll answer your question. Yes, we did lose our sovereignty over when the UN took it over, and that's what I'm concerned about. And President Trump, and I have done a video on this, I don't know, it's been quite a while now, in between September 22nd and it wasn't last month. He either has done a no comment or he has actually endorsed certain parts of the UN takeover and the Pact for the Future, like this digital compact. He is all on board with it. So I'm very concerned that, it's still too early to tell. I mean, it's like 24 hours. So I can't tell, is the UN going to go to war with the United States? They may over this. They are dogmatic about that they are the rulers of the world, and anybody that doesn't go along with them, they are going to consider a terrorist and a threat risk. And President Trump did send a letter to them stating that we were going to be getting out of that and the hoop. So we may have the UN to battle. The thing with the Pact for the Future, they did fund it. They've been collecting all these funds all along so that it is funded. And also they have different NGOs and different things that can go to war against us. So there are different things that they can do. So at this point, it's too early to tell, but it could be that we may get out of Ukraine, but we may be in a war against the UN. Let's see. Thank you, everyone, for commenting on my hat. Hello, English Fluency Fun from Canada. Yes, Hope Ann, the snow on your roof is not normal. Please, I did a Q&A or fire, ice, and fog last week. Please check that out if you didn't see it. It's on YouTube. And learn what is in that snow and that fog. It's only going to get worse. Let's see. William Wallace, global warming, he is against. Yes, he's against doing the whole climate change thing. But, does that mean we're going to stop the geoengineering? Are we going to stop the particulates that Bill Gates wants to inject stratospheric particulates? I don't know. And you're right, William Wallace, he does want those bio IDs. What was it the other day? Oh, yeah. So I'm not sure that you've, well, if you're a subscriber to Celestial Report, I just did my newsletter. and they are actually generating worlds now, like metaverses. And so I just, as a reporter, my job is to tell you about these things. And so I went to explore it, and I'm watching them take an image, and all of a sudden it becomes this 3D world, which was very trippy. The last image I saw before I they disconnected me was a tree that looked much like the tree that is in was in Lahaina, very much. I've got a picture of me under that tree in Maui. But what it did is, so it gave me a little taste of it, and this was just launched last month. So they gave me a taste, and then they said, "We want you to give us permission to access all of the sensors on your device, all of my sensors." And I said, "No way, no way." So you had the option to do it or to decline, accept or decline. And so I did decline, and at that point, it stopped, because what it wanted to do is suck my data in, or suck my data from my device into this metaverse and make the metaverse very personalized to me, my experiences, my interests, and that it was already super dangerous from what I saw, and it didn't have any of my information. Imagine if I would have given it permission to do this. And I did a big column on this in my newsletter. So if you want to become a subscriber, I do one of these about every other week. Um, and then I try and do a community meeting every other week. I haven't been so good because we were launching the website. We got a little bit sidetracked with some glitches, but it's the new year and we are on track. So let's see. And so William Wallace, the bio IDs are part of that. So if I would have said yes to the sensor, they wanted to do biometrics on me. They wanted my fingerprint. They wanted to suck every bit of information that my computer has collected on me, all my data and everything. And I just said, mm-mm. So always say no, no matter what the cost may be. But at least I got a taste of what that metaverse was all about. And you didn't even need, what surprised me is you did not even need Oculus glasses. I guess you might call it augmented reality, but it was more than that. It was very realistic. It was amazing. Michael Paul, I'm not far from you, and it's minus 20 without the wind chill. So I am at 20 degrees now, but this morning I was at minus 44. So it's the warm is headed your way. I just got it when I went to town. It was below, minus 20 degrees. So I think it's coming your way because all of a sudden it popped up, which is good. Yes, knit hats are good. So, I think I got off on forgot what I was talking about. So if you live in a warm climate, you may say, "What do I need for cold weather?" You need a very warm hat. You need ski gloves, not the pretty like little gloves or anything. Not farm gloves. You need really. I have ski gloves that I wore this morning. It's nice to have a down jacket. I know some people like to do the synthetics and all of that. I like my, the things that have a good frequency. So I have a down jacket that's good to minus 50, and it does very well. And I've got boots on, and I layered, as you can see, I'm layered and stay hydrated. And so that's my suggestion. No matter where you live in the world, you can live in South Africa, you can live in Latin America, Central America, Florida, Hawaii. Please get these things because the weather is changing. And one of these days it's going to hit you. And when it hits you, you want these supplies, and you want these supplies in your go bag if, God forbid, something like Los Angeles happened to you. And it could happen to any of us. I have 2 specials I'm gonna do this week, one on, some strategic warfare and updates for this year, and another one on what exactly is in that smoke. So I am going to be talking about that this week. So I'm going to have and plus interview. So plus writing my book. So busy week, busy week. I love you guys, Laura. I got watch the Super Bowl and there's a person on YouTube, I never get to watch him, but, Enter the Stars or Follow the Stars or something like that, and he goes into the predictive programming, and I did see something about there was something in one of the because I'm not a sports person, so I miss all these until somebody tells me about it. So I am going to check out the Super Bowl with the what Laura, so was this during the halftime or was this a commercial advertisement? I'd be interested to know because I think of, the girl on fire in, Hunger Games. Okay, let's see. Moving on down. Yeah, so touche. So when you are dealing with the corporate, so there is the original United States and then there's the corporate United States, and so help me God, it might nullify that. I, uh, never have looked to see if so help me God is a part of it's a part of our tradition, but that doesn't mean but at least we're honoring God, which in the past hasn't been done. So at least I mean, it may not be part of the Constitution, but it is nice that we are acknowledging God and not pagan deities and any other crazy things. Archaics has the numbers. Okay. The remnant, the globalist elite cabals have moved forward with their plans and they're running out of time. They really want 2025 to be the depopulation of all of the original design, mankind, animals, plants, and microbes or anything at any level. They want to break all matter down to its elemental form and engineer it back into the what I call the satanic synthetic digital twin. Let's see. I'm not going to go in right now. Maybe sometime we can do a flat Earth and globe discussion, but today is not it. Do you think income taxes will go away? And this was by Angela Land. That's what President Trump said yesterday, that he was going to use tariffs and some other form of tax for foreign countries. That's the way it was originally set up. He did say that he was going to, I think this was in the evening signing, that he was directing all of the IRS agents that had been newly appointed to come after all of us delinquents or whatever you want to call people. I guess a 85-year-old person was just arrested. He's ordering them down to the border. So if they want a job, they're not going to be with the IRS. That's what he said. Whether that's reality or not, I don't know. Or if it was just off the cuff, I don't know. He was kind of doing as he was signing, he was doing a press conference last night. Didn't Musk rocket poke a hole in the filament and water came out of it? I didn't see that, so I can't comment. Tracy, it is Tracy Conley. It is my honor to tell you the truth, and I mean, since I was little, I knew that I was going to be doing this, and so I skill setted up, and I don't know, imparted the courage to me. I think in my flesh, I would not have the courage, but because I do believe in Jesus Christ as my personal savior, I I just have the courage, and I really listen to what he says. It was very interesting after David was killed. It was a different relationship with the Holy Spirit because all of a sudden it was like, go right, go left, do this, do that. And I thought, well, this is really strange. But then I got discerned that my very life could depend on this someday. And I think that's where we're at right now. So I really encourage you people of faith, to really listen to the Holy Spirit. And even if it seems absolutely off the wall, and I've had some pretty off the wall things that he has said to do, but has always turned out right, and I've always been protected. Don Jovi looks like Granny Afro wig. Yeah, but it's warm, so I'm not going to complain about that. Let's see. Joanne Slater, yes, Trump did say he's getting that climate change is a hoax and that America is pulling out of the WHO, but did not say he was pulling out of the pact or some pact for the future. That really concerns me because it's an integrated weapon system, you guys. Yeah, we can get rid of like 2 parts of it, but the rest of it is this. If I could get my fingers to work, they're still a little bit frosty. It's still the rest of it is an integrated weapon system. What about that hydra they put in their eye? The hydra that they put in their eye. I guess, Laura Hughes, I don't know about the hydra in their eye. I'm not sure if I'm missing something. The worm in the eye thing. I don't know. Will Trump change the money system to a cryptocurrency? Yes. There's Trump, Bitcoin, and there's a Melania Bitcoin, and it looks like he is jumping in with both feet into the crypto world, and that I will not participate. That's just me, and I will accept the consequences of not participating in that system, whatever that means. And at this point, like, how do you live? You can't pay taxes, you can't pay your bills. I can tell you from personal experience, just try to pay for anything with precious metals, and you are going to have a real surprise because they think they think that you are a criminal, a mafia person, and they will not let you buy anything of value with precious metals. So how are you going to do it? It might be something to think about right now before it gets too late and we're faced with it. Well, Charlotte Edwards, the UK is deteriorating very rapidly now. The US was too, and we're not out of the woods yet. So we'll just have to see. There was a change, but that's all we know at this time. Everybody thinks I have a granny afro wig. That's funny. Okay. Anyway, let's see. Could this be the bioweapon that causes all of us to become sick? Pets, humans, and saying the bird flu is the culprit. Oh, there's some stuff. I'm not going to go into it today. They've got pandemic stacked up like cordwood. They stem back all the way back to Plum Island when the U.S. Army had Plum Island. They transferred it to the USDA. It was the Nazi scientists that went in there from under Operation Paperclip and those pathogens always got out. Yes, this snow is a bioweapon. Yes, it is making pets sick. I would not let your pet, pets used to love to lick snow. Don't let them lick the snow right now. And, try and brush off as best you can with this snow and ice. Please, please, please look at my snow, ice, fog uh, uh, presentation I did on YouTube last week. It will answer some of your questions, but I'm still continuing to dig, and especially with the fires and the smoke, that's the next up on the docket, and that will be this week. Yes, Jesus Christ was not. Whoops, sorry. Now I've lost my spot. Oh no, and my cursor is not wanting to go. There it is. So Tommy Devine says Jesus Christ was totally left out of the religious leaders' speeches. I think because they really wanted a spirit of unity, because this was such a contentious um, season before the inauguration. I think they did have a prayer vigil. It was my understanding, or prayer breakfast this morning, and that's probably where the religious leader speeches will be, and Jesus Christ will be mentioned very prominently. I haven't watched it yet, but I did see that it was this morning, but I had to go to the bank, which is a major adventure in a blizzard. It's okay, Patty Knight. No problem. Ugh. Let's see. Let's see. Do you think about you're on the same side, red or purple? Purple rain. I knew he's gonna wear purple tie at the inauguration. Um, I mean, you could say that any color either can have biblical significance, and it does. Um, but sometimes we can overread. I mean, we have to wear something, and like in my city, there's an orange tinge. It almost looks like rust in the water, and I can't really buy anything white. I love white. White is one of my favorite colors, other than my dark winter colors. But I can't, because it would, if I put it in the washer, it would turn orange. And if you think that there is a lawn, like dry cleaners here, not in North Dakota. Anyway, uh, well, truth, love, I'm not sure if they're a low regulation state or not. I have experienced a nightmare of regulation since I've been here. I feel like I live in Berlin in the middle of World War II. That's how I feel. And I live in a town of 49 people. They allow the medical professionals to practice even when they allow unlicensed staff to do surgeries. North Dakota is Govy anarchy. Well, I don't know if you caught it on one of my Q&As. I had just visited the doctor for some reason. I don't even remember what it was at this point, and I noticed that they had this very strange placard in the back of the receptionist area. So as I had my trusty phone with me, and I looked at it, and they're part of the AmeriCorps. And if I've done several articles, you can go to shepherdsheart.life on my blog, and it's a cultic. They swear an allegiance to corporate America, and also they wear these patches. They don't have to wear them. A lot of the youth do, but the doctors don't. And it's very occultic. And I went into all the occultic symbolism in the AmeriCorps. That AmeriCorps started, I believe, right after 9/11. That's like a day after 9/11 is when I found out about it. And believe me, it was pretty busy. Let's see. What do you think if about the Deagle report and the big 2025? I've been talking about the 2025 depopulation for decades, and the reason is because I was in government and military um, conferences that were talking about it. I did take that one slide uh, that wasn't really talking about depopulation, but they were talking about that was the one in 2018 when they were unveiling the military transhumanism agenda, and it was about renunciation. Now, think about renunciation. At the time, I thought, oh, they're just going to force us to renunciate our faith, but it's much more than that, as the Lord has shown me. It's renunciation of being a human, renunciation of, now I'm talking in their words and they're not my words, renunciation of using planetary resources, renunciation of, that we will do the whole soil and green thing to save the planet, uh, renunciation of being an older person. I mean, yesterday, along with the UN Pact for the Future, there was a huge emphasis on the young people, but there was not nary a message about the older citizens who made and built and worked their whole life to make America what it is, even though the young people indoctrination kind of came along and undid much of what we did. So yes, I believe about the 2025 depopulation. I wonder if I can just use my cursor. Let's. Would you like to travel to Mars? Absolutely, I would like to. I wanted to be an astronaut when I was in elementary school, but at that time they did not allow women into such professions. Let's see. Ashpin, Daniel's appointed eunuch. Seeing you, I'd love for you to expand on that. If you want to send me an email, Celeste at celestialreport.com, I would love to know what you're referring to. I'm curious. Let's see. Carl Neff could be all a show for the people. Think it will happen, but stay the same. Not sure. That's where I'm at. Just it's too early to tell. Celeste, the next president. I thought we were living in the end of the end times. Please tell me, do you believe we are at the end of this age? Isn't Jesus coming back? Raven, of course he's coming back. It's just a matter. Jesus did not even know the day or the hour. Only the Father in heaven knows that day and hour. I certainly don't know the day or hour because not uh, I'm not the Father in heaven. But like Jesus talks about, the rain's coming when you see the red skies in the morning. Sailors take warning. And so we can see just by the earth changes, the people changes, the war against all biological life. Yes, we are at the end of the age, but how long is that going to be? I don't know that any of us knows. I do think that we may be around until 2030, which I believe is going to be the 2000th anniversary of the resurrection. William Wallace, AI will convict us all. Absolutely. And actually, there's a lot on the AI front. AI is taking over the planet right now. And quite frankly, I saw that they are making physical AI have rights as they are simultaneously taking away your rights. And they're also, AI used to have human in the loop. This year, they are taking a human out of the loop of many things, like in formulating medications, doing medical experimentations, and that type of thing. So it's a dangerous time for us all, William Wallace. Yes, Laura, I know it's freezing in Atlanta. It's down in the south. Lots of people are getting snow and freezing. So please um, get some warm clothes, at least one pair of everything so that you have it. It is going to get much colder. Joanne Slater, yes, the UN is an evil entity. Well, Kathy Slavant, well, he did bow to them, the UN, for COVID. Absolutely. And it was with his public private partners. It was on International Pi Day, which is a mathematical equation. And so, and, and he did bow. I remember that and I called him out on it. So, but hopefully he found Jesus between that time and now. So we'll see. And anybody can repent. You know, we all can repent. Hope Ann is saying the last report is 5 inches of snow in New Orleans. Unbelievable. And we had so little snow this year. We've had the brutal cold, but I don't have much snow, hardly at all. They're steering the moisture away from us, but we sure got the cold. I hope all my plants are going to be okay in the spring, but we'll have to wait and see. That's not going to stop me from planting. So February 1st, I start planting 100 different types of peppers, and on March 1st, I will plant 50 different kinds of tomatoes. So that's my house. And by the time they're about 6 inches tall, my house is like chaos. I have like 5,000 plants in the house. Let's see. They want, Touche says they want the world to despise us. So there is retaliation, isolation, blackouts, food shortages, and desperation. Yes, culling the people. Yes, they are in the middle of culling. I was working on that this weekend about the culling of the people, and I think I'm going to be talking about that with the smoke. I wish I could upload you the picture. You could send me a picture to Celeste at celestialreport.com and I could share it if you want me to. Let's see. Laura Hughes says, my son's friend is a postal worker in Atlanta. They have already issued permits to drive around in the coming quadremic. Yeah, it's going to be a quadremic, but that is not. So that's going to be a bunch of minor. People will die, animals will die, but it's not the big one. The big one is going to be the Ebola event. Tracy Conley, I don't know why Gates is allowed to say anything. You know, I wish he wasn't. I wish he would get censored, but you know, what can I say? Elon Musk with Neuralink. What's up with that? The remnant. So basically, Neuralink is to put to link everybody to the quantum computer. And of course, they want the hive mind. They want everybody into the global system, but Christians are not going to do that. And yeah, I'm troubled about that. So I did tell everybody, I have shared this before, that in 2017, I signed a document right at David's death um, that I take one medication, and they called me 2 years later, or that year or 2 years later. It was summertime. I had 100 pounds of cherries that I had to pit, and I pit them one cherry at a time, and then I have to can them right away because I don't have refrigeration for that volume of cherries. And so I get this call from my doctor's office that said, you have to come down for a blood test and a urinalysis to ensure I was compliant. And I said, no, I'll come down tomorrow, but I have got to get these done because And they knew this was my income. My husband had just been killed. They knew I made my money at farmers market, and that is also the food that I was going to eat. And so the next day, I get a certified letter, and they said, "Addict, addict, addict." Now this is medication I've been on. It's not a narcotic. It's been since 1985. No dose changes whatsoever. Steady as she goes. And they said at the end was the clincher. They said, um, got to get it right. You have 90 days to present yourself to the nearest neurologist to get a chip put in your brain. And I said, heck no, I'm not getting no chip in my brain. So, and I went down, these are Christians that were saying this. And they said, if you don't do it, you will not have medical treatment. And why do you think I don't? I do my own medical treatment because of that very situation. Because they were, and I did not get the chip in my brain, and I had to do my own doctrine. Let's just say that. Okay. So Patty Knight, I don't believe in black holes. So that's just my belief on that. Christina D, yes, we must take back our birth certificate that keeps us as slaves, but be very careful if you enter the contest of the sovereign citizen movement. He who has the largest guns often wins. So I know people that were super Christian, godly people that are in deep, dark prisons right now because they were too influential in educating people about the sovereign citizen movement. So you have to be prepared that you could either be put in prison like the J6, or you could be put to killed outright. So I have a website. It's Laura Hughes. It's celestialreport2.com. I do have videos on there. I have articles. I do have subscriber content for those that are have financially limited means. I do try and put out as much content for free as I can, but these platforms are expensive, and I have to pay my bills just like you. I have to buy groceries, pay utilities, buy computer equipment. And so I really appreciate any donation or your subscriptions, and really even your prayers. I really thank you for your prayers. Raven, there are people that think that Trump might be the Antichrist. I don't think so. But there are people that do. So, you're not out on a limb there. There are many people that do. Let's see. I'm scrolling down. Oops, I guess I'm not doing very good. Here I am at the top. I'm not going fast enough, you guys, and I only have about 15 more minutes. Let's see. Now, if I don't get to your question, please put it in the comment, and later on, I will answer it as I can. Let's see. The copy gal has a 3-month old female golden retriever. She is a bossy girl and very feisty. She loves the 7-month-old German Shepherd. Boy, you've got your hands full. Dogs are such a blessing. I don't have my new dog yet. My new dog is going to be coming in about September, and I'm really not sure how Mississippi the Queen, the Queen Mississippi, is going to take to it, but we will see. I'm hoping that she does well, but it's not up for discussion. Mom has spoken. She's getting a new dog. No, Warrior of Light. I wish I was in Fairbanks. I was supposed to be in Alaska, but I broke my left rib cage and couldn't get up there, so I'm down in North Dakota. Let's see. A lot of people are talking about the UFOs, especially during the fires in LA. I I'm not sure if this is my hat slipping or what. Um, I think it's holography or Project Bluebeam along because they do that. They have multiple layers in different operations, and LA was definitely an operation. And by the way, I don't know if you knew this, but my grandmother's house did burn to the ground in Altadena in the Eaton fire on the first day. So a lot of memories gone. Yes, Enter the Stars, great channel, even though I don't get to watch it very often. Let's see. I'm gonna have to go really fast, you guys, because I guess I went, didn't. Flat tax coming up, Florida 50, higher taxes on some purchases not essential. I don't know what's coming yet. Too early to tell. Where do you think we are in the timeline, Bible's timeline? I think we're in Daniel's 70th week. Thoughts on the no-hide laws? I've mentioned this several times before. Um, I know Noah hides. I've never heard that they had guillotines. They're very wonderful people. They do not believe in Jesus Christ. Many of them did at one time believe in Jesus Christ, but the church let them down. And so they did not want to convert to Judaism. So they went into the middle, which is what some people say the no hide is. So I don't think they're out to get you. There is a document that's highly cited, and let's say I've got an extensive library and the citations are not accurate. So, but believe what you want. Um, Jack Daniels, Trump is taking Panama back. Okay, let's see if I can. I really haven't spent a lot of time on Vance. I was keeping my eye on the science, the technology, and the United Nations. So unfortunately, I mean, I didn't do as good a due diligence as I could have on the people that were running for office because quite frankly, there's a big global we're in this global system right now and there's information and it kept me busy. I mean, last year I was started 3 books. I did a number of very technical articles, um, the pandemic timeline, Lair of the Dragon, Color of Evil, 2 parts, the UN breaks all boundaries, and the particles of destruction. And then the 3 books. So it was pretty busy year. Let's see. God is not in heaven. Well, okay, for you. Do you think they will use an EMP? I think at some point it will be. And if it's not an EMP, it will be a large solar flare or coronal mass ejection that takes out the power grid. You might as well plan for it. That's at one time or another, you will not have power. And the Bible seems to indicate that in Ezekiel. Laura Hughes, why the carbon they want to erase. Yes, carbon, life form, anything carbon they want to erase. They've got a really nasty plan, and I'll be talking about that more and in great depth in the smoke presentation I'm getting ready to do later this afternoon after I get off here. Um, it is, Marsha Price. Yes, it is a real fur. Um, it is a fur cap, and I have fur boots too, as well as my let's see, can I do this or not? I don't know. How limber am I? So I've got my snow boots on. Whoops. And there goes the computer. I don't know about I have changed my mind since I was in elementary school on the whole going to space thing. I think they're using the space thing, I know, for biotechnology. The whole moonshot um, program was applied to biotechnology in 2015. If you're interested in that, you can go to celestialreport2.com and the pandemic timeline. And I go into all about the moonshot programs of that they used. Now there can be good things from the space program. Like my daughter was one of the first infants to have open heart surgery, and they use Teflon that they use. And I know Teflon's not good, but we didn't know it back then in the early 1970s to fix holes in her heart. So there can be some good things that come out of it. Okay, I'm going to go to the bottom because I think it's not fair that I haven't got there, and I'm going to go about 10 more minutes. Then I got to get ready um, for my presentations for tomorrow and the next day. Let's see. Oh, Laura, I'm glad you have your grandma's mink coat. My grandma's had several, but I don't know. She would always take them to cold storage, and I don't know whatever happened to them. Vance with Palantir, touche. Yes, I know. I know. Yes, seeking truth. We are in the. It's the pole shift isn't tomorrow, but we are in a wandering. The magnetosphere is going, and we're in the middle of a pole shift. I agree. I wouldn't do the Noahide, but you know, would I rather have a person a Noahide or an Islamic terrorist? You know, I would much rather have them be a Noahide. Do you think Canada will become part of the US? That is a done deal, my friend. And Mexico too. And so this whole flu-flaw about Mexico and Canada, and even now there yesterday President Trump was talking about Greenland, but really Greenland isn't part of the deal. So I don't know if you've heard about the North American Union, where Canada, the United States, and Mexico became one. I was in on those protests early on. I mean, and I've been reporting on it for decades, and it's now here. You can look up the North American Union. I think it's now not NEU. It's got a longer acronym. I can't remember what it is. Shine on Beyond 2. When will my books be available? I will let you know. I got to get working on them. I've got to start, holidays are over and I've got my sister settled. So now I really have to focus on broadcasting and getting these books done because there's some really important things you need to know. And next week, I have a really important thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it public or if it's going to be for my subscribers. Haven't made that decision yet. Uh, something Chikiu. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Skincare. Do you believe Trump will lead most supporters off the cliff? I don't know. It's too early to tell. It is too early. Do I have my reservations? Absolutely. Can I say definitively no? There's evidence now after yesterday on both sides of the fence. Um, Yes, raw meat. People are losing their homeowners insurance. It's tragic. It's tragic. What's going on down there is tragic. Mississippi's dog trainer's house burnt to the ground. Where do you get the sheepskin blankets, Jane Lewis? So I got mine. I got they're four sewn together. I think they're four, six sewn together, and I got mine on Amazon, and they are from Australia. Costco used to have some really nice ones. Don't get the fall ones, FAUX. Get the real ones because those are the ones that are going to keep you warm in really nasty cold weather. Let's see. Thank you, Ronnie. Uh, yeah, it was really um, hard to all those memories but I think I mentioned last week that I had 60 years ago, the Lord told me that my grandma's house was going to burn to the ground. 60 years ago, he told me. And I didn't ever dare speak of it because I know the power of the tongue and you can manifest. And so I never even mentioned it to anybody until after it happened. And then I thought, now I'm listening to the Lord, listening to the Holy Spirit to say, okay, why did you, what is the lesson? What is the message that you want me to know? Why did you tell me this so early on? And it always made me uncomfortable going to her house. Not that I didn't love my grandma, I loved that part, but I always was like, oh, is this going to be when the fire happens? You know, I would cringe. Okay, I'm gonna let this will be the last one, and then I'll be doing a Q&A next week. Karen Hayes, I've been living in North Dakota since 2017. I've noticed what you've said, food desert, China owning land in Grand Forks. More information. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I went to Costco last week. I had to get my car serviced, and I got the last 5 dozen brown eggs that were organic in Bismarck, which is the capital of all crazy things. Costco no longer has a half and half. All they had was milk and butter. That's it in the dairy. And everything else, I used to get some keto stuff there. Can't get it there anymore. So, anyway, I just want to once again thank each and every one of you for your interest in the work that I do. There's more coming up. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about strategic warfare. We're going to go through that document um, and learn about it. And then we're going to be talking on the next. Let's see, this is Tuesday. So that's Wednesday. Thursday, we'll be talking smoke. What's in the smoke? You need to know this because it really is more than just the smoke. And you don't know when the smoke is going to hit. But when I first started finding out about the agenda for the atmosphere, other than geoengineering, I'm not talking about that, was when with the massive train derailments. And I was on a major um, a, a show, an alt media show, and I was about ready to talk about the danger and how these gases were being released and they were activating the nanobots in your body. And the music came on and they cut to a commercial. And that was it. That's the way it is with talk radio. So you can't get everything in. If you want all the details, if you and I give sources, I give you a lot of value. Um, and plus, you can ask me just about anything that you want personally. I also have consultations. But I just really, it's a new year, and I just want you to know that I'm so grateful for your prayers, for your support, whether if you donate, if you're a subscriber, if you're a friend. I am just so blessed. I am so blessed that you are in my life. And my prayer for you and those that you love is that you will have a blessed, safe, and healthy year this year. And we're going to have to be awake and alert. Keep your eyes open. If you hear or see anything that you think I should know about or you want some expounding on, that I could just be prepared for the Q&A, I would be happy to do that. You can contact me at Celeste at celestialreport.com. Remember, my time is limited because I am packing up my interview schedule and then I am writing these books. So anyway, there's a lot to squeeze in. It's a good year. It's a new year and we have a fresh start. So let's look at it on the positive and know that at least in our hearts, um, we are walking with the Lord for those of us that are walking with the Lord, um, and that we will not be moved no matter what. So God bless each and every one of you, and we will see you either tomorrow or the next day or next week. So God bless. Bye.